This is Book Talk with Corbin. I'm your host. Let me encourage everyone, please go to my website, booktalkwithcorbin.com, booktalkwithcorbin.com, and you will hear my other podcasts and many of my interviews, including my interview with Dexter Pitts. He is a author. He just released his first book, an autobiography, I Am Pitts. It's available at Amazon.com. Want to strongly encourage all my listeners to pick up that book. Also, February 20 at Launch Louisville, 816 East Broadway, Louisville, Kentucky, at 6 p.m., Dexter will be doing his first public book signing, and I want to encourage all my listeners to come out. If you can't make it out, please encourage other people within your network to come out. It's been a little bit since I've done a podcast, and I'm happy to be back in the saddle again. I want to touch upon this whole Joe Rogan so-called controversy. As many of you probably already know, Neil Young of many years ago, old-time rocker, stated that he is going to withdraw his music from Spotify. Now, actually, that's not quite accurate. What Neil Young said was that he said to Spotify, if you don't take Joe Rogan off, then I'm coming off. If you don't take Joe Rogan off, then I'm coming off. Now, that's where Neil Young lost me. That's where I lost some respect for him. Of course, that was a typical fascist move. It's completely ridiculous. I get it if a person says, I cannot in good conscience be on the same platform with somebody who I so vehemently disagree with. I get that. People all throughout history have done those kind of things. I get that. Based on principle, based upon your conscience, you say to yourself, hey, I don't want to be in association with this person in this way or that way. I get that. And so you make the decision to sort of withdraw regardless of the consequences. It's more important for you to stand up for what you think is right. But here's the fascist element of it. You then want to force other people to take your position. That's wrong. That's fascist. That doesn't cut it. Again, if you, let's say, for example, you want to protest the Vietnam War, and you realize this, what I'm about to tell you actually happened. Well, this Buddhist monk, in protesting the Vietnam War, set himself on fire, committed suicide in public, and that was his protest against the Vietnam War. Wow, he was driven by his conscience to do that. He thought, hey, I have to make a very, very dramatic statement against the war. Well, okay, I get that. I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do that. Best thing I can do for you, buddy, is, try to put you out, try to put the fire out. But it's a different matter if that Buddhist monk was to say, well, I'm going to protest the Vietnam War, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some explosive on my body and then go into public and blow myself up and kill and wound other people in the process. No, that's fascist. And so that's where I lost respect for Neil Young and the position he did. I never thought he would be that kind of a totalitarian, fascist, collectivist mentality. Dude, if you don't want to share that platform with Joe Rogan, I understand. I respect that. Leave. I say the same thing with this Joni Mitchell. Leave. Go. I get that. But your whole attempt to force Spotify to stand with you on that position, that's fascist. You can't force people to do that. And if that's your mentality, then you don't understand the philosophy of people like King and Mahatma Gandhi and Dietrich Bonhoeffer. You don't get it. You seriously don't get it. You people you're so deep into leftist mentality, you just don't get it. So that's my position on the whole Joe Rogan thing. They say Joe Rogan is engaged in misinformation. Okay. I don't know if he is, and I don't know if he's not. But I do know that he should go out and say what he wants to say. And then if you think that he's saying something wrong, then you need to go out and you need to sort of counter his information. That's the way you handle that. That's the way a true American would handle that. A true American is not a fascist like Joni Mitchell and Neil Young. A true American says, oh, okay, well, first of all, you have the right to free speech, including the speech that I don't agree with. And if necessary, I'll die to protect your right to free speech, even if it's speech I don't agree with. Secondly, a true American says, well, I think what you're saying is wrong and ignorant or whatever, so I'm going to support someone who speaks counter to what you're saying, or I myself are going to speak up against what you're saying. That's the way we handle that if you're a true American. And it's rather obvious, people. The mentality of Joni Mitchell and Neil Young, those aren't true Americans. As a matter of fact, they're dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Why? Because they're rooted in fascist thinking. Okay, this is Book Talk with Corbin. Go to my website, booktalkwithcorbin.com. Go to my Facebook page. Same name, Book Talk with Corbin, Book Talk with Corbin Seavers, Seavers. Like, follow, and share.